And good morning everybody, my name is Oso. We are playing Farming Simulator 22 on Maypole Farm. It is Saturday, 15th of April, and there have been some changes around the farm, but we'll cover those as we go. Right now, I need to bale up this grass, and hopefully it's not too much. And actually this tiny little bit is not significant because it was just the middle mower, which I forgot to set to conditioning yes. Okay. So September 1 still. I have managed to get all of the fields seeded. The Massey Ferguson is running around rolling those seeded fields, and we will then have to spray them all kind of eventually. Sort of for right now, we have these bales. Not big hurry to do them. Obviously it's going to rain later today in about 15 minutes, so it would be kind of nice to have them all wrapped in the next 15 minutes. That's really not a option here. But anyway, so little bit of housekeeping from last week. Last week I broadcast episode 52 again. So post stream I actually went back and changed all of the descriptions to read episode 53. This week is episode 54. Well, since it's going to rain for the rest of the day, we'll bale until it rains. Technically, I should then come out and ted the grass again, but that'll spread it out, and then I have to row it again. So we'll kind of pretend that happens. Rolling is the rolling, but you will see, actually you will have seen back there, that hedge is not an original map hedge. So if you look to the left, the map hedges have wooden posts in. You take a chainsaw to them, the hedge will disappear, or at least that section of hedge will disappear to each side of the post. So it's a nice way that Cavalier Roy gave us to eliminate the hedges that we didn't want. Now it's not that I don't want to eliminate the hedges, it's just that the hedges are a little bit of a hassle for the workers where the posts are, because the workers don't see enough of a impediment to their passage, so they end up getting stuck on a post and nothing we can do about it. So I have replaced the hedges with what we now have on our left, which is one of the in-game hedges. I did we cheated the money in, but I don't view it as cheating. All we're doing is replacing one implementation of hedge with a different implementation of a hedge. One that should work with workers. And I've been fairly selective in which hedges I've replaced. So the hedge at this end of the field between the two grass fields is a problem. The hedge at the other end is a problem. So where we are almost always running a worker at a hedge, I've replaced that hedge, at least on this farm. So just up ahead of us here, we don't typically run anything in the direction my tractor is currently headed, so it's so I haven't replaced that hedge. But because I will have a worker typically mowing in this north-south direction, I've replaced the hedges on that arc. Okay, let's go this way. So we'll do a little bit of an explore in a moment and check the rest of our fields. I am seriously considering trading out this tractor. Problem is it is getting quite aged. Its maintenance schedule is very, very high. I did alter that because I was originally running 25% on the rate at which maintenance was required and 25% on the cost of maintenance, and I've kind of changed that out a little bit, and it started raining, so we will stop here and we'll go for a farm explore. So, oh look, roller's got stuck. I think I'm going to be okay with the rolling in the rain. It doesn't look like it's a big deal right now. Okay, wheels on the left-hand roller aren't working, or right-hand roller aren't going round, but the field is getting hot. This is the field opposite? No, where is this? Oh, this was the field that had all the stones in. So removed all the stones, at least the ones that would come up. I think there's a couple of stone glitches on this map where if you remove all the stones, some of them are just permanent stones in the field. I don't believe they affect anything. But I did notice harvesting this field with all those stones in was an absolute nightmare for our harvester. It really wrecked the header. So we will be watching out for that. It looks like I have to do the end anyway. Okay. Moment we just have a light rain. As for stuff in the store sales, we're down to just harrow, I believe, and something else. Nothing we are deeply desperate for. And as I said, still September 1. We are not progressing very far at the moment. So I'm probably going to take out this corner of hedging here to give us access from the yard. That seems like a good plan. But once we've rolled everything, we already, as I said last week, we already did the perishable sales, so we don't have that to worry about for September. I'm going to do this edge of the field. Try not to get jackknifed while doing it. There we go. Should work now. Yes. So again, you can see the roller has missed a couple of patches along the edge here. I think that's in part because it sees the front two rollers as the sort of the completing part of the deal, and the back roller doesn't quite make it. So, and depending on how close that hedge is and if there's a post in it, like we're coming up to a post here, a worker will just say, oh, there's something in the way, I can't complete the field as I'm doing it. Okay. Should turn the other way, but never mind. So potentially this field could possibly use, I don't know if it could actually. I was thinking maybe we should thin out the trees along this edge. I don't think they're a significant problem. I think it's a combination of the hedge and the trees that's the issue. As I said, we'll get this rolled, and then I think we'll let those rollers touch down before we move. I will check the map afterwards, but I think all of the fields we need crops in. This one I believe I put oats in along with the other soybean fields. So we had 3 of them. So outside of farming, I have now got 5 benches completed for the model railroad in the basement, and now I'm having to firm up the measurements for the return tables, because I have a better idea of how far down we went and how much width I have coming back. And that may adjust slightly, I don't know. I almost went out to buy the first plywood sheets for the actual track bed. I'd spent pretty much the morning at the doctor's just on a annual checkup thing, and I'd been out so long it was just like I can't really be bothered to go to the store just for a couple of sheets. I can do that next time I'm actually in the area. So that's going to be a thing. Maybe the coming way. And as I said, we've still got at least 4 benches still to make. So, and I don't have enough wood for that either. We've got, I think I've pretty much got enough for one, sorry. But then I need to figure out something else for the remaining 3, which involves going shopping again. And it involves going shopping to a lot of hardware stores. We have one that is really good for lumber, for good quality, nice planed lumber. And we've got another one which is more for construction. Now I'm using construction materials for the legs. So the legs are kind of beefier than normal, and they have a good supply of that, and it costs less there. But the actual sort of project stuff, if you want to build furniture and stuff like that, you need to go to the other store, which has a better range of sort of short, why did I do that? I want to do that. And good morning, Patchwork. So yeah, I've got 2 different hardware stores to go to. Anyway, we have green. That's not mine. Those are grass. They are all growing. So, good start. We have all of them mulched. Good. Turn off mulched. Needs rolled, none of them. So we have rolled all of our fields from the get-go. We have sprayed for weeds in 51 and 61. The rest will need to be sprayed for weeds when they grow to the next section. Looks like I kind of messed up here. There's a couple of missed sections that we didn't plant, didn't mulch, didn't roll. Same here, and same here. Not a big deal. They're just sort of spots of you didn't roll this. I'm fine with that. These are reporting as stones, although I have not been able to remove them. So they're glitched stones. You can no, they're not. Oh yes, they are glitched stones. So we're just going to have to live. There's one there. So we're just going to have to live with them. Because they're glitches, I don't think they're affecting our equipment. And if they are, it's one drop, so it's not a significant issue for us. Should we go driving in this tractor? We'll take the roller back, because obviously I don't need that anymore. We've finished with it. Good. I need to buy a couple... was it beehive? I was going to say canola sheds. Beehives on the canola, so that we can boost the canola yield and boost our production of stuff. Okay, where should we stick the roller? Next to the mulcher. How about that? That would work. as I said, I am probably planning to get rid of both the mulcher and the roller sometime, and obviously not in a big hurry to do that, because we're done with the mulching and rolling until we actually harvest something, or potentially buy a field later in the year if that turns out to be a thing that we're doing. And I'm going to have to pull that forward a tiny bit. But there's the big roller that's a mod that we can use for both mulching and rolling. And it's just a bigger work area, so it's worth thinking about that way. Okay, so let me drive back to the main yard, or our original yard. And we will demonstrate what we've done in the various fields. Sorry, I'm driving a little bit over the white line, so the traffic's getting a little bit worried coming the other way. So just to the right here, where all those trees are, I have added a fence. And that's really just there as a sort of, I think it should have been. And generally where there's trees, I'm just putting up fences. Where there's no trees, I'm putting up hedges, because normally hedges are, excuse me, sort of a windbreak and protect the crops somewhat. Now I can obviously swap this tractor for the Deutz if I feel like it. So yeah, as I said, we have replaced this hedge line along here, so we should have less problems with helpers mowing the field north-south. I've done the same at the hedge at the other end. So again, the entirety of this hedge here, I have not changed the hedge along the map edge. I did demolish again this hedge here, and I've moved it close to the field on the right, so technically we can now put a track along the edge of this field and possibly break into the field in front of it when we get around to buying it. So again, we don't have to drive on the road when we're working our fields, we can just use a farm track. So possibly going to break down part of the hedge right in front of us. But as you can see, again, we've done the entirety length of that hedge up to the tree line. So just replace with what was there. Yeah, so carefully turn this way. Now, as I said, I'm replacing where there's trees. I'm just putting a fence in rather than a hedge. And that runs all the way around. We'd already put a fence where the house was, so yeah, that's just a continuation of that fence really. I have missed planting stuff along here. This bit of hedge was a little bit of a challenge. When the map first came out, the posts in the hedge had no collisions. You could chop them down with a chainsaw, but they had no collision, which was nice in that they weren't impeding workers travelling up and down a field, but bad because when you chopped the post, it would fall through the map floor and disappear. So Cavalier Roy replaced them with posts with collisions, so they don't fall through the floor either, so you can deal with the posts as you chop them down. However, a small section of hedge down this bit was the old style of hedging, where the posts fell through the floor, and yet another portion of it was just placed objects, so I had to delete them rather than chop them down. The last thing I've done along this field edge is I took out a couple of the trees along this crop line, so we should have a better, slightly better, marginally better view when we're running along that edge. And again, I haven't knocked down those hedges there yet. Gonna see if they're a problem, because we have the trees anyway, so there's problems all around. I'm gonna take this over to where the Deutz is. We'll swap them over because this tractor is cheaper to maintain than the Deutz. As I said, I kind of would like to I'd like to trade in the Deutz for something a little bit newer. We might wait to see what comes up on the store sales. The other advantage with using this on the baler is it does turn a little bit tighter. So we can turn that one off. So I think we'll go back to the other yard and I'll do a little bit of tree forming. There is a little bit of cheating involved. As I said, I'm trying to just replace the hedges that are there with something that the workers prefer. So I add in money, I chop down the hedges, and I add the new hedges back in, and then I reset the money back to where it was. So we're now down to £3,000, give or take. Doesn't look like we're draining any. I think I'll demonstrate with the fields that are next to our house. I left the Land Rover back at the other yard. So as I started to say, with the bales, obviously it's one game day to what are we doing? For them to ferment. But I'm not in any big hurry to get the bales fermented because we're not going to sell them till winter. So all I'm doing is, at least for this month, we can get them baled any day we want. When we do the last cut, which November, that's when we're going to have to worry about getting them into wrap as quickly as we can. So this field here, I tend to run north-south again because that way's the longer edge. Running across is really just the headland.